Well, I got home from a party afternoon adventure. Nothing crazy. But I got home and I smelled some fuel on the Jeeper, and then I looked under the hood to see I smelled the exhaust to see if it was just misfiring smells, I guess. Unburned fuel. It didn't. Exhaust smelled fine. I popped the hood and looked under there, and like, oh, look at that. Drip, drip, drip. There's a fuel drip leak. So that's cool from the hard line, which is unfortunate because that sounds harder to splice and fix. So I'm wandering around the shop looking for those fuel lines that I got for fixing the my flatbed. Can't find them, but we're gonna see what else we can find. I see some random fuel lines here. Will they work? Probably not, but we'll see. Maybe we can make something work. It's quite unfortunate that I have the shop in such disarray. I can't find anything because I'm pretty sure there's some leftovers from that job. Down over there. So the leak that we got is right underneath that, right at this little clamp. It's dripping. You kind of see it's wet down there. It's dripping right. It's right where it's clamped onto the. I guess that's the intake. It's kind of rusty, and it looks like it's split at the. Somewhere in there. I don't know. This is the only piece of fuel line I could find, which I think was this little pigtail from the Maverick's carb rebuild kit. I don't know where freaking other fuel line is. I'm tempted to go scavenge off of one of the myriad vehicles that doesn't actually run to get this going tonight. I think I found my leak. Nice little pair of pinholes underneath the clamp there. Well, I can't find any fuel line, and I think I need to get some soft line, some flexi line, and redo it. But ideally, this would be drivable tomorrow morning for my wife to go do some stuff. So I do have this here, JBWeld steel stick, which says fuel tanks on it. So I got the line stripped off and scuffed up there. And so I think I'm going to just try to mash a bunch of this stuff around there and see if it works. Because I think this stuff, it kind of is like Play-Doh, and so it should kind of stick to the outside. And so hopefully if I can kind of knead it into the cracks, it'll maybe go long enough along the line that it'll hold. I don't know. It takes an hour to cure, so I guess I'll find out in the morning. Slash maybe I'll just get up real early, and if I really need to, I'll go run to the parts store before work. All right, well, it says to wear gloves and to mash it up by hand. So broke off the tip of it. Put that back in there, and we'll mash it up until the black and the gray mix all together and it's an even color. We'll see. All right, well, I got a little log of that stick around that broken area, and it kind of mashed down onto it pretty well. I think it's fairly well stuck to it. It kept wanting to peel off, but hopefully I got it far enough past because it's kind of, the leak was right in the center of that, so hopefully I got it over enough that it's gonna do something. So it says set time is 5 minutes and cure time 1 hour. So I guess we'll see what it's looking like in 5 minutes, and maybe I'll go take a break for an hour and see what it looks like and then. Well, I actually just left it overnight, but it's very hard now. So I guess we'll put it back together and see what some fuel pressure on it. I also modified the clamp a little bit to make that fit. Can't really see it very well, but it's running and it's not wet yet. So I may be good enough for now, for today, and I'll fix it tonight. Well, I took it on the highway and no leaks that I can see. This is where it goes in the fuel rail, goes down. You can see the end of that gray bit right there. All still dry. As far as I can tell. I think the main concern would be maybe now, I don't know, maybe it's not the main concern, but a concern that I have is that that's now like an extra stiff area, so that might make it leak at the end of those. But it's a day. I'm gonna replace it tonight, so I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. So that's exciting. JBWeld for the win. And the belt's still squealing a little bit. Also, in case you're wondering, 50-pound 2-string bale of hay fits pretty well right in the back of this, so, you know, the more you know. Well, after a 2-hour round trip with the JBWeld patch on the thing, it appears to be holding up. All right, got still holding there. We lost a little chrome of it, maybe, but I don't see any leaks. Well, Napa was supposed, well, I ordered online the little quick connect fittings to connect into the fuel rail for the Jeeper, and Napa, I'm pretty confident, said that they had them in stock at the store by my work. So I ordered them online to make sure that they had them and got them to me. They never emailed me about it, so I went and stopped by, and they're like, oh yeah, those aren't coming till tomorrow because they're coming from Albany and somewhere. I was like, oh, well, that's not useful. So anyway, I got fuel line, which is not the super high pressure stuff, but it's what they had. I got these clampies. So I'm gonna put them somewhere that makes sense. I don't remember why I came in here. I'm gonna put them, I was looking for a little box. I'm gonna put them over on the shelf, over here, by the other fuel lines. For when I forget, remind me, they're over here. Up there. That's where I'm gonna put them. If I forget, shame on me, or something. Well, since the parts for the Jeep are still waiting, I figured I would look at weatherproofing the Maverick a little bit better. So looked up how to take these clippies off. Apparently they, I don't know if you can see them over there, but they clip around the edge of the little chromey bits. So you can get behind them and pop them out. And there's apparently a special tool for it that I don't have, but repurposing this coolant hooky thing, and it can kind of hook up in there and then pry it forward off of the chrome, and then the whole thing pops up. So I'm gonna see about cleaning that out and then giving it a lather of sealant and see if there's anywhere obvious that's leaking. And yeah, it'd be nice if this thing didn't get a bunch of water in it while we're driving in the winter, where it rains in Oregon all the time in the winter. Drizzle, drizzle. Well, I broke one clippy, which looks like these were already replaced because these are yellow and newer. No, it just wasn't attached. I thought that was broken. But so it looks like under there. It looks to me like this is just barely glued on, and that it's just rubber around the windshield, the actual glass. So I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm gonna run a bead of glue underneath down here. And then I don't know if I should glue the rubber to the glass too. But apparently, that's interesting because the back on these being replaced gives me some hope, because I think a lot of these are broken on my truck because they're the same clippy type. So it'd be fun to replace those and get that chrome back on. It's gonna be so good. You can also see where the vinyl used to be attached with these rivets to the roof, which this is no longer vinyl, but I'm presuming that this used to be a vinyl top and that someone tore off. But there's, oh yeah, there you go. There's some vinyl still attached. We're gone, no more. Yummy. We got some foliage growing in here. Got a bunch of pine needles. Oh, with some more things growing. I'm sure this was all doing really good favors for the rust and whatnot. That's probably working its way through down here. All right, well, I'm gonna get this cleaned up and see what it looks like. Oh no, I'm gonna scratch my paint. Oh wait. Next to my trusty workbench, the hood. I got this all pretty well cleaned out in there. Took out all the clippies. Hopefully I can get them back in. And I also was looking at this here gasket. And it's a rubbery seal that's going around the glass, but you can see maybe that the backside is moving too. And so there was a line of grime all the way in there. You can kind of see where it used to be. That I wiped out all the way around. And I think I'm gonna run a bead of glue all the way, like on the top side. Just lift this back and kind of just do a little glob all the way around on that, and then also come back and go on the outside below. So that way any water coming down or over should get stopped and keep going. And then if it's down below here, it won't go underneath and back up in, I guess. This is a little suspicious. There's that seam right there, which has the paint flaking off of it, and I don't exactly remember how to get this off. I think there's bolts maybe under the hood, but my hood is workbench, so I'm going to focus on the glass part for now. Hopefully this doesn't screw me over in the future when I need to get this glass replaced or anything, and doesn't cause problems to have it glued in like this. And I don't really know, I think usually you glue it down and you don't have this rubber stripping So maybe that's old-timey thing. There's some glue in the bottom here, so I don't know. Maybe this weather stripping is supposed to be glued down, and then this glass is just kind of slipped in. I don't know, but it seems to me like it makes sense to glue it. So I'm gonna glue it. And then once it's all glued, it's gonna be so weather tight. Just don't worry about like, you know, the little holes that go all the way through, and this nice hole there in the side, or the screw holes in the roof, or those things. Don't worry about those. The glass though, the front will be so tight. All right, well, using this here aquarium glue that David found on the interwebs for gluing up the the Ranger windshield, which DAP also has a window sealant that's basically the same little squeezy tube. So I don't know really what the differences. I tried both on my truck and they seem like they applied basically the same. But I got, you kind of maybe see around there, got some of that clear stuff gooping out from under the rubber against the glass, and then down under here I have going from the corner over a little past center under the rubber, between the rubber and the metal, to try to seal in the bottom there where it was all full of dirt and small trees growing. And I need another tube of that stuff, and then I'll go the rest of the way around. I didn't actually clean around the top or the sides very well, so I think I'll probably clean that off once all this is dry. And I don't see how it could possibly be worse than it was, so it'll probably be better, at least a little bit. Cheers up. I'm also gonna put away like 2 things, because if I keep putting away 2 things at a time from all the stuff that we've been doing, and just put it away, it'll be a little bit cleaner, and I'll go a little less crazy. Maybe less crazy, not crazy, but less, maybe, hopefully. I think I mentioned in my rambles that I had lost oil pressure on my flatbed, my turbo, and I just noticed that this wire is just hanging out right here. And I think that might be the oil pressure sensor, so I wonder if I now have oil pressure. Maybe I should crimp that a little bit. Convenient. I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but the AC compressor, I think, is seeing its last and has seized up. And I think it's potentially going to kill my belt. But I unplugged it, which should let it rotate freely until the bearings die. But I need one of these bad boys, and apparently there were multiple options for the amount of ribs on the pulleys. This is a 6 rib. Apparently there were 7 and 8 also. So I needed to figure that out before I ordered one, but no.